Hello, welcome back to Teen Story Share. This week we're continuing A Gentle Tyranny by Jess Corban. If you missed the past 2 weeks of reading, I'll be linking those down below, and we are starting in chapter 2 today. The sizzle of the frying pan and the smoky sweet smell of plantains greet me before anyone in the kitchen notices I've slipped in. Mother says Marsa's the best chef in Nede. Granted, they've been friends longer than I've been alive, but the compliment can't be solely biased. Mother grew up at Finca del Mar, the Matriarch's seaside estate, where she had access to the finest luxuries of Nede. Chefs, unlike kitchen hands, who are gentles, earn high regard in Nede. A subset of ad artium, chefs give their food craft the same devotion singers give their songs, or dancers imbue their dance. Given the enticing aroma filling the kitchen now, I'm convinced the benefits of culinary art surpass them all. Usually, only wealthier women can afford chefs, never Maternos, but some perks still reside with the matriarch's daughter. Mother convinced Marsa to take the position at Terra before I was born. Over the years, her role has expanded from preparing enticing meals to second mother. She doesn't let us girls call her Dame Museau, only Marsa. And since she and Mother have known each other since childhood, Marsa's own mother was a chef at Finca del Mar, she is basically family anyway. Her full, colorful voice, matching her thick body, wrapped in a multicolored apron, rises above the sizzle. Don't even think about sitting down to lunch until you've washed that filth off your hands, petite. I'll always be petite to Marsa, never mind my nearly 18 years. She still calls both my sisters petite, too, as if we were no different from the actual children of the house, the 9 little gentles, currently assigned here by Gentle's regimen. Marsa sometimes calls them petite, too, but only the ones she especially fancies, like Gentle 85272, who we've taken to calling Little Boo. Mother is the only woman I know who names all her gentles, both the little ones in her care and the finca workers who care for us. Sometimes she gives deep thought to their monikers, but usually she just picks something that seems to fit. When Little Boo was smaller, maybe 3 years old, he loved to play peekaboo with anyone who would join in the game. He's 6 now, just a year away from leaving us for a hive, but the name has stuck. Apart from Trey, I don't usually spend much time with the gentles. No one is supposed to, per Article 2, but as far as the little ones go, Boo's my favorite. I brush past one of the gentle kitchen hands to get to the sink. It's just a little sheep dung, I tease. None of that talk in this kitchen, petite. Wap conjurge. I've never actually gotten the thing that's coming to me, even though she's threatened it nearly every time I've exasperated her my whole life long. If her 2 hands weren't occupied on the frying pan and whisk respectively, I'd get a thick finger wagged at me for good measure, too. All right, I'll wash them, I say with a bit of false reluctance. I like Marsa. She nags me like a nanny goat, but the food she crafts for our little finca and her genuine care for our family make up for it. From the sink, I can see she's got a pot of coconut rice and beans warming on the back of the iron stove, a pan of finished plantains ready to top the rice, and chicken with vegetables and herbs simmering in the frying pan. The meal will be simple, fit to serve our little mob, but elegantly garnished. I hope that's Diablo in the pan, I say, not at all joking. Real mature, Reina, Ciela shoots back from her seat at the table. Ciela is 3 years older than me. Accusing me of being immature is the only comeback she knows. He woke me up again today. He's louder than the monkeys. I'm serious, Ciela. If he goes missing, you'll know what happened to him. She narrows her eyes. Not everything that annoys you has to be disposed of, little queenie. On second thought, Ciela has 2 comebacks, accusing me of immaturity and making derogatory plays on my name. Reina means queen in one of the old languages. The first time I remember her using this comeback, she was mad because I stomped my 4-year-old feet at her when she wouldn't let me have the red scarf for our Alexia play. Okay, sure, I like to have things my way, but she can be a beast, too. I roll my eyes, proving my immaturity, I suppose, but I don't care. I tolerate Ciela's existence little more than Diablo's. Arrete, that's enough, Marsa barks. Marsa has little patience for our family squabbles, and her large, quasi-stern presence has squelched countless quarrels over the years. A woman with a metal skillet can be quite persuasive. Yes, Marsa, we say in unison. Though we don't sound it, we both mean it. Though Mother is a Materno, she also travels frequently because of her role as one of the two center directors, specifically overseeing the Materno operations of Nede. Usually her job just takes her to Phoenix City for a few days, but sometimes she's gone for a week or more, visiting other towns or fincas scattered throughout the provinces. When she's away, Marsa fills the void by tightening up the ship. "None of your nonsense when Leda's away," she'll say, but she doesn't have to say it often. We don't seem to argue as much when Mother's away. Her absence has a way of making us act like the adults we are. Well, the adults Ciela and Jonalyn are, and I will become, once I choose my destiny. My destiny. The thought produces a familiar knot of anxiety, not exactly because I don't know what I'll choose, though there's that, but because as much as I push against Mother's opinions, I don't want to disappoint her. Speaking of, good afternoon, Marsa, girls. Mother slides a leather satchel from her shoulder onto the tile floor. Despite the many miles she must have ridden this morning, she still enters the room like sunshine incarnate, which, conversely, instantly darkens my mood. She crosses the room and takes a seat at the head of the rough-hewn wood table. Ciela and I rise to take turns kissing her cheek. "Hi, Mother," I say, more flatly than I mean to. I don't know why, but I generally turn sour as buttermilk when she's around. She smiles at me despite my lackluster greeting. "Hello, Reina." Her voice sounds even warmer on the heels of my coldness. Her patience with me is admirable. I don't know why, it makes me even grumpier. She lifts her chin and turns slightly, giving me easier access to her cheek. I brush aside a chocolate wave of her hair and kiss her quickly. All women are honored in Nede, no matter their destiny, but Maternos hold particular esteem. At least we are taught to show honor. We've been told that Maternos have the hardest job of all, enduring pregnancy, birthing children, raising daughters, and, for those who manage fincas, caring for Nede's youngest gentles until they're transferred to hives. Every Materno, whether she manages a rural finca or prefers a flat in Phoenix City, gives much of herself, her body, and her time. Children are taught to show reverence by kissing their mother when she enters a room, bringing her flowers just because, or by serenading her on special occasions. I don't deny that Mother works hard and has given much of herself to us. I suppose I just figure all women labor for the good of Nede, no matter their destinies. Each contributes to society. Why should Maternos get more recognition? Mother's peaceful expression furrows when she notices the gashed lump near my hairline, still swollen after the blow to the wood ramp yesterday. "Reina, what have you done to your head?" I take my seat as I consider how to respond. I could tell her about my accident, about the strange, frightening people in the teak forest who, despite the missing shirt, I still suspect I may have hallucinated into existence, or at least somehow exaggerated. I could ask if she knows anything that might explain who they were, or whether we should be concerned. But it's as if all rational thought and civility dries up when I'm around her, and I can't bring myself to say any of that. Instead, I shrug my shoulders. "Nothing, it's fine," I claim, curt and dismissive. I'm stupid not to tell her, and I know it. If those people are dangerous, Mother should know they were on Beaterra land. But my stubborn pride keeps me from changing course now. Sparing me from further inquiry, Dom Bakshi walks through the doorway with 9 trailing gentles ordered by height. The boys take turns kissing Mother before taking their seats. She acknowledges them each by name, not number, with a smile and a nod. Once everyone is seated, one of Marsa's kitchen hands, a stout gentle with a limp, brings overflowing bowls and platters to the table. We eat family style at Beaterra, as Mother prefers, our family, plus the little gentles, Marsa, Dom Bakshi, and a few other staff. The rest of the gentles, those who have been assigned to work at Beaterra, will eat later. As we pass the bowls of beans and rice and the platters of plantains and chicken pieces, cheerful anticipation grows from the young ones. Mother's gentles are happy nearly all the time, but never more so than when they are about to eat. While Mother says a prayer for our food, I hear a noise coming from the Gentle's side of the table. I open my right eye a pinch and catch little Boo shoving a piece of plantain into his mouth. I raise an amused eyebrow at him and he grins, then shuts his eyes, tight and reverent-like. Mother's "Amen" is followed by a raucous clinking of silverware and 9 sets of cheeks stuffed full. Little Boo watches me. I wink back. Once Mother has asked the boys about their morning with Don Buckshee, and they seem occupied with each other, she turns to me. "I got a call from your grandmother today." My fork halts midway to my mouth. Is something wrong? Phones are rare, in holding with one of Nede's most important core virtues, simplicity, and those who have them reserve them for urgent matters. The last time we had a call from Grandmother was 2 years ago. She was concerned about a report regarding the center and wanted Mother to take care of it before the day was up. Mother had quickly packed a few things in a rucksack and ridden to Phoenix City before lunch. If Grandma has called, it must be important. Mother pauses before answering, as if weighing whether or not she can avoid telling me. "She wants to see you, Reina." "Me?" She has my full attention now. "Why?" Mother's shoulders sink just a little. I only notice because it's so unlike her. "She wouldn't say. She wants to talk with you about something, and when I pressed, she said it was not my concern. You know my mother." "No, I don't," I want to say, but instead I give a small nod. I've only had maybe a dozen interactions with my grandmother since I've been old enough to capture memories. One particularly clear recollection was the day of the big Alexia demonstration. I was 8 years old. When she noticed me watching the horses before the event, she invited me to sit in the Matriarch's box with her. I remember Mother looking skeptically at Grandmother, as if trying to weigh her motives. "She'll be fine, Lita. I'm just giving her a better view," Grandmother had said, and Mother relented. I felt important watching the show next to my grandmother, the matriarch, in her flowing, colorful robe and beaded jewelry. I think she found amusement in my delight, too, because every so often she would incline toward my ear, pointing out the pedigree of a horse or the agility of its rider. "These women are trained to protect us, Reina. It is the highest honor of all," she had said. I had been taught by Don Buckshee, I suppose, that being a Materno was the highest destiny, but I knew better than to question the mother of Nede. Besides, I think I rather agreed. Something about the Alexia, or their dark, shiny horses, or both, felt courageous and bold. I was already bold, and I thought I might be courageous someday. Watching the demonstration next to Grandmother, I wondered for the first time whether I might have the brio, the spirit, determination, vivacity to run with the Alexia when I was grown. That was almost 10 years ago. Since that encounter, I've only had reason to speak to Grandmother at our annual dinners at Finca del Mar. Every September, she invites my family, including my aunt and great-aunts, to a feast after the Innitus ceremony, where all of Nede celebrates the 14-year-old gentles' departure from their respective hives to begin vocations. She doesn't usually talk to me or my sisters much at those dinners, but last year was different. At the feast, Grandmother asked me, "Reina, Lita tells me you'll turn 18 this year. Have you chosen your destiny? Will you be a Materno like your mother and eldest sister, or—" Here she paused and narrowed her eyes as if evaluating me. "Or perhaps the Alexia for you?" Heat crept up my neck, and I'm sure I flushed as crimson as boiled lobster. As much as I clashed with Mother and my sisters sometimes, I hadn't yet told them that I could never be a Materno. It never felt like the right time to break the news, but something in Grandmother's look gave me a rush of adrenaline, and I found myself saying more than I meant to. "I'm not sure which destiny I'll choose yet, Grandmother, but it won't be Materno." I wanted to look at Mother, curious what my admission caused her to feel, but kept my eyes locked with Grandmother's instead. The corner of her mouth had raised slightly, and she sounded amused. "Ah, a rebel in the family. You know, Reina, that every woman in Nede is free to choose her destiny. If you want to be a politicos or run with the Alexia, Lita will not stop you." She shot a pointed look at Mother, as if to quell any thought she might have had of swaying my decision. "Yes, Grandmother, was all I managed. Strong personalities vied at that table, least of all mine. But I had felt vindicated by grandmother's enthusiasm. At least one relative wouldn't be disappointed by my probable defection. That was 5 months ago. Could that be why she wants to see me now? To find out if I've mustered the courage to rebel? I eat the rest of my lunch, rather distracted with the thought, hardly noticing the usual lunch noises. The gentles, quiet chatter, Marsa's humming, Mother and Ciela talking about center business. Whatever grandmother wants, I'll soon find out. All right, I hope you're enjoying the story so far. Next time, we'll be reading some more of Chapter 2. Have a great weekend and see you again next time. Bye-bye.